Ben Affleck is now opening up about his divorce from Jennifer Lopez, calling it embarrassing, which low-key it is. You know, divorce in general is not embarrassing, but what he did to this girl, he should be ashamed and embarrassed of himself for, because the way he broke her heart, not once, but twice. And I know J-Lo loves getting married, and I know she loves collecting engagement rings. But if I were her at this point, I would be too traumatized to ever get engaged, married, thing ever again, because the way that this guy did her dirty is crazy, and he's still lying. I don't like this guy. I've only ever seen him in one movie. It was The Departed, and I do have to say he was a fantastic actor in it. I loved his accent in The Departed and everything. However, I don't like his personality. I don't understand what J-Lo sees in him. He seems so damn miserable to me. And I don't, anyway, listen, if she likes it, she likes it. What can I say? So as y'all know, J-Lo and Ben Affleck first got together from 2002 to 2004. They were engaged, but Ben Affleck called off the wedding. So they broke off the engagement because of that, right? And then they stayed in contact and started dating again in April of 2021, about 20 years after they first fell in love. And in July of 2022, they got married in Vegas and then hosted a bigger wedding at Ben Affleck's home later on, right? And then about a year and a half after that, the marriage fell apart. Ben moved out of the house, and the divorce was finalized in February of this year. Again, Ben, why? If you don't want to, I think it's Tamar Braxton. I don't know if y'all listen to Tamar Braxton. She's a fantastic singer. Listen, personality is a little off, right? We know that. However, she's a fantastic singer. And she has this song that she used to talk about all the time on Braxton Family Values, If You Don't Want to Love Me. So when I was talking about the way that, Ben, if you don't want to love this girl, leave her alone. Tamar Braxton has a good song. So if you guys are looking for something like this, right? If you don't want to love me, don't love, so leave her alone, right? And I hope that this time he come back again 20 years later. Anyway, he's talking about it and what happened with their relationship, why he feels embarrassed. And these are his direct quotes from his interview with British GQ magazine. It is just a story about people trying to figure out their lives and relationships in ways that we all sort of normally do. For one thing, you start going, okay, clearly this person has these issues. Clearly they have those issues. And the reason I didn't want to share that is just sort of embarrassing. It feels vulnerable. There are a lot of people who I think have handled celebrity better than I have. Jennifer among them. My temperament is to be a little bit more reserved and private than hers. And happens in relationships, you don't always have the same attitude towards these things. So he's blaming it all on her. He's saying she's a fame seeker. I'm not. And so I thought, oh, this is interesting, because how do you reconcile that? Because exactly what you said is true. I love and support this person. I believe in them. They're great. I want people to see that. I'm sorry, Ben, you're fake. You're fake as a $3 bill. Do y'all remember during the pandemic when he was dating Ana de Armas and they were doing all of these paparazzi strolls and stuff like that? And then when they broke up, he called the paps, and then he had his brother take out Ana de Armas cutout to the trash or something like that to signify their breakup. He loves the paparazzi just as much as J-Lo loves the paparazzi, especially when it comes to him promoting Dunkin' Donuts, that brand that he works a lot with, right? So I do not like the way that he is out here throwing all of this on J-Lo. He knew that she was like this glitz and glam, big diva, larger than life the whole time. The first time they were together and the last time they were together. So why bother her? Sometimes people just come in your life to mess with your peace, because they're saying, oh, look, she looks a little too happy. She looks a little too peaceful. Let me come in and spice it up a little bit. And I feel like that's what he did. And it's just so terrible. And then to reduce it to embarrassing and stuff is crazy. And then say, oh, the main problem is that she likes fame. Get out of here. Get out of here. Denise says, good morning, beautiful. I'm always in the bush. I'm always in the bushes watching. That is hilarious. Just wanted to tell you and everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, Denise. What a fabulous first message. The way I cackled and had the visual of you in the bushes watching the morning report. Theo says, Ben Affleck is embarrassing. Period. I agree. He's so fake. And he's so pretentious, by the way. Go look at the interview for yourselves and you'll see the language he used there. It's please, I have to to replace it and look up some of these words. I said, you're doing too much. You know, I remember my first thesaurus, chill. Millie says, salut Grace, I'm glad I caught your live. Salut Millie. Pas Millie. Millie, je suis contente que t'es là. Merci. Tom bought her way into RHOBH and she really thinks she earns it, period. She's so cocky and arrogant, isn't she? Right? Jessica says, you should watch The Town. It's a really good Ben Affleck movie. Let me take a picture of this, okay? Because, you know, sometimes you guys recommend things for me. And by the way, thank you so much. I think it was you, Allie, who recommended I Care a Lot. And then Jessica, you reminded me about it too. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to take a picture of this like a freaking boomer. Like this, so I can remember to go ahead and watch it. And I love you guys' music suggestions as well. Monica says, it's Ben perfect? No, but he made it clear his kids come first, and he didn't want to be in the spotlight all the time. I think the whole yeah, I agree with that. The love letter thing was weird. It was weird. And like, he looked definitely uncomfortable with that during the little documentary or whatever she made about their relationship. But is that enough to go and blow up your marriage over? Because he appeared, good morning, C-Loc, he appeared in the documentary nonetheless. So how do you appear in this documentary, you know, and then say, you know what, I really didn't like appearing in that documentary. I'm divorcing your ass. That's harsh, you know, especially when children are involved. His children and her children have unfortunately followed them through so many broken relationships. And at a certain point, you would think that you would go, okay, listen, you know, I got to try something to stick it out for these kids. Because I don't think that this was what she did was divorce worthy. It happened. You know, you move on. You know, he's never said anything like, oh, she treats me poorly, this or that. Like, and again, he knew she loved fame. That's like, you know, getting with Kim Kardashian and complaining that she loves fame. Like, stop it. Theo says, I'm guessing you aren't aware of the one series in which Ben Affleck and Matt Damon mansplained to a Black director that diversity. Oh, no, I haven't. Oh, Lord. Isn't Matt Damon the guy who like beat this Vietnamese guy blind? I always mix him up on another actor. Is that him? Because if that's the case, that does not surprise me at all. Good morning, Kahara. Nice to see you here. Nice to see you. Benicia says J-Lo shouldn't have married him. Sometimes you shouldn't go back. Yes, I agree. You know, I think they both still had this like phantom X in their head, like the idea of what this person, you know, was 20 years ago. But not unfortunately, but we all changed so much and evolved so much within decades, right? I keep talking about this, but my 30s, I feel reborn. I feel like my brain is fully, like, it's so crazy to say, but like, I feel like, holy cow, like, wow, everything is just clicking in a way that it never has before, you know? So to take like 2 decades and expect the person to still be the same person you fell in love with in the past is crazy. It's absolutely crazy, right? You know, I feel bad for J-Lo, you know, and exactly, Theo, you know, he got with a super young girl, creepishly too young for him. And, you know, somehow everything is always the woman's fault. I don't like him. April says his star was fading and he used J-Lo. And you know what? Speaking of that, a lot of people said that the real reason he jumped ship was because of the Diddy thing. Do y'all think that's true? Because people started like putting out like these rumors claiming that J-Lo was involved in some freak offs and some other weird activity. And so apparently that plus the flop of her movie, her album, her tour, all of that was too much for him. Do y'all think that that's the real thing? Because I feel like it's more likely to be that than just, oh, she likes fame. He knew she liked fame and he likes fame too. He calls the paparazzi on himself, guys. He does, right? Kimmy, you know the song. Isn't it amazing? I love it. Listen, I wish Tamara would just sing and got off of Instagram, right? Grace, hey, fellow Grace. And she's a Black Grace too. Wow. Jennifer and Ben were never meant to be together. 2 different people. And J-Lo liked the idea of Ben as her husband. I agree. I'm really sad, you guys, you know, that all of this was so public and that she had to take the fall for it. We talk about this all the time on this channel, but it's true. Celebrity women are always just beat up so much and held to this crazy standard, always blamed for everything, just dogpiled on. And it's wild to see it like take place all the time and how people continue, even women, you know, ourselves sometimes continue to take part in like, you know, all of this women bashing and stuff. Monica says, I mean, the whole let's take it back to the early 2010 when I was popular and people thought that I could sing better and J-Lo was low-key before, right? Listen, I guess it was like a throwback thing, right? They both thought that they were still the same people from the past. And unfortunately, that just was not the case and that they could no longer go ahead. And look, Nancy thinks it's the Diddy stuff too, right? You know, I don't know. I really think it's more the Diddy and all the flops or something like that. Because I'm having a hard time. I'm having a hard time. Uh, the Ashanti stuff is always so funny to me. By the way, speaking of Ashanti and throwbacks, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, and I think Ja Rule are coming to Paris in July. I am so going to that concert, you guys. Jalissa says he was great in Gone Girl. I've been, I have that bookmarked and Amazon Prime to watch. I've never seen Gone Girl, you guys, and I'm really looking forward to watching that. Maybe that's what I'm going to watch this morning. Thank you, Jalissa.